I do remember going. We're talking about Bryce Harper, a low batting average in this particular year.
Yeah.
Going into the All-Star game, and I heard a stat that said that he might be, if he's in the All-Star game with that average he's current, that would be the lowest average for any starter.
Wow.
And I do remember times when I felt like I was into June or a good part of June, and I was still hitting 100 and something.
Really?
And that's a big hole you got to dig yourself out of, and you got to.
And it weighs on you, doesn't it?
You got to forget about that. That's the hard part, is you got to forget about where you have come from, and you just have to focus on this day forward. And I always thought it was a little embarrassing to go to the All-Star game with not your normal numbers.
Yeah,
right.
Because they're going to put them up on the board. Everybody's going to talk about them and all that. But after the All-Star game's over, you can almost look to saying, okay, let's have a good second half, and you can almost erase the first half.
What is your best guess as to what's going on with Bryce? Is it just typical struggles? It's a hard game? Or do you see anything like, is he pressing because of his contract?
Well, I would imagine. I felt one time when I let the contract negotiations go, it was in a 92 season, into the season. And we were so close, I thought it was going to happen right away, and it didn't happen right away. It seemed like when you got hot, the contract negotiations heated up.
Right.
When you got into a slump, it seemed like they shut off.
Right, which is the worst.
And that's the worst way to go through a season. You need to be
Were you even dealing with it? You let your agent do that, right?
Yeah,
well, you try to, but still they call you and talk to you at certain times, and then you get excited, and then you go down. So.
Our agent never calls us. We should probably be concerned, Cal. He never calls us.
I would imagine
me asking for the boss's number. Yeah. Well, it's like, how do you not have his number?
concerned. Look at my face.
He's texting me for the boss's number.
So I would imagine what I'm saying is the contract negotiations, the uncertainty could weigh on you, and you think that, okay, I need to have a big year. There's guys that have a reputation that they play really good in their free agent year, and sometimes they don't. Bryce plays really good all the time, and maybe he's trying to do too much, press a little bit more than he normally does, and doesn't let the game come to him because of.
He's also not getting any pitches. Like he does lead the league in walks. So then the limited amount of pitches that come, he may be forcing.
But JP, Mike Trout has more walks than Bryce, and he's hitting 310.
Mike Trout's a better player.
Okay,
I've said that for many years.
Okay, but you just can't use the excuse he's not seen. I mean,
well, I want to ask
a lot of the great hitters aren't getting pitched to.
Yeah, but Mike Trout might be more patient than Bryce, because I know that when we went through rebuilding years, I walked 102 times one year, and I didn't walk that much because you'd have to be really wild to walk me. But I mean, when you're not getting pitched to and it's that obvious, you want to start to expand the strike zone because you're not participating, you're not contributing.
And Trout doesn't face the shift because he's a right-handed batter. And I'm not saying that the shift is taking out Bryce Harper, but it may be in his head. His agent, Scott Boras, he's one of those guys saying they should outlaw it.
No, I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I don't.
What is your take on just Bryce's swing? Like, you look at it like from you analyzing his swing, and we got guys, amateur guys, calling in and tweeting, and et cetera, that you can see him falling off, pulling off, breaking balls. I mean, he does that sort of thing. But they say like his swing is sort of like fundamentally flawed. Do you buy into that, or do you think?
Were they saying that about it when it was working?
When he won the MVP?
Because it's essentially the same swing, and if you look at videotape, there's some subtle differences that you see. He has a signature way he swings the bat. Sometimes your engine's running a little high inside, and sometimes you're.
But is it unconventional? Because maybe if it's unconventional, it's hard to be consistent.
No, I don't think it's unconventional, and I think he's been consistent. So it's just the way he hits. Everybody has a unique sort of signature on how they swing the bat, and if you're trying to help him, you don't go change everything and say you got to go. You just try to bring him back to his comfort and his timing and his confidence, and then that'll happen. I mean, it's proved that his style of hitting works for him.
Sure, yeah.
And so I wouldn't try to make him somebody else.
I mean, last year, if he doesn't get hurt, he probably has a bigger year last year than he did in his MVP year.
So it's a slump. So you have to figure out what are the reasons, what are the causes for that, and probably it's a little bit more mental than physical.
Yeah.